All right, folks, welcome back to the pod. We're almost done with the first round, and it's probably been one of the best first rounds in a long, long time.
Yeah, definitely has been a very, very long time, mate.
Yeah, been good. It's been it's been good fun. Just the key theme is all this new generational talent coming through, and the older crew slowly fading out, right? And the biggest example of that was the Phoenix versus Lakers series. What are your thoughts on the overall result? Were you surprised? Yeah, it's just I don't think a lot of people expected that ending, but then again, Phoenix were the number 2 seed, and some of their young talent, definitely stepped up and overperformed. Devin Booker just had a sensational closeout game in LA, 47 points, set the tone for them. And DeAndre Ayton, not many people are talking about him, but he's essentially a 20 and 10 guy. He's playing at an all-star level. So, yeah, and it's just obviously all the injuries with Lakers. Unfortunate, we didn't see a true matchup. But it is what it is. Phoenix advance. What are your thoughts on the series?
I loved it, actually, especially with the chippy stuff going on between CP3 and other people.
That we can talk about for a long, long time as well, I find. What did you see? What did you think of that last minute trolling? Everyone saw the troll that Jay Crowder did. He hit the salsa.
Yeah.
He hit the little subtle salsa, which is interesting because everyone's like, oh, that's what LeBron did. He hit the salsa. But in the background, CP3 was doing the post moves that LeBron was doing as well. Did you see the troll there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw that as well. It's just, oh man, it's funny. You think these guys are supposed to be best friends, but I'll tell you what, they were going at it pretty hard, and the big thing for me was LeBron just walked straight off. He generally does do that when he loses the series.
And when he gets angry.
Yeah, he's not one to stick around.
I think he felt like, what do you call it? Like, he did all he could, and the team sort of didn't really help all around.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt. That team, I mean, I think, understandably, was probably a little bit pissed off the fact that AD was injured at a crucial time, and he was injured most of the season as well, right? For one. And two, the other guys, the supporting crew just completely froze in the big time, right? KCP was injured as well, but had some shocking games. Montrezl Harrell didn't play him. They would have known his deficiencies in defense.
Yeah, how come they didn't play him? It was just coach's choice, right?
It's just odd. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get why they would pair up with him and a Andre Drummond or Marc Gasol for at least periods of time, right? It's they needed buckets as well with AD out, and he's someone that can get you buckets. It's really odd, and yeah, to be honest, some of the other pieces that they got looked very, very ordinary. Like Wes Matthews, Morris, Markieff Morris. It was just a very interesting end to that series that I didn't see coming. There's no doubt, but it just goes to show the AD impact. I mean, you remove him from that group, they're a very ordinary team.
And why didn't they play Drummond? Because isn't he he used to be like a double machine?
Absolutely, he's a rebounding machine. That's why they got him. But for some reason, they didn't have him much on either.
And Ben McLemore only had one minute that game, so I wonder why. He's a scorer as well. That was a bit weird.
He's like he's a 3 and D guy. Alex Caruso. I mean, the other guy, Kyle Kuzma. I mean, really, a lot of the other guys are supporting players, but Kuzma's meant to be their number 3 scorer, and he really isn't a number 3 scorer. They didn't get some more.
Think about all the guys they traded away and they kept Kuzma.
I know.
Right? And the guys that they've
Tell me
been
about
traded away are just like killing it.
Yeah, that's a very good point, right? Yeah, so they've hemmed themselves in for a pretty big off season with moves that it's going to be hard to make. But look, Phoenix, great effort, man, great effort. I'm happy for the team like that to come through purely through the draft, and they have got some veterans like obviously CP3. He does bring a lot of leadership. I saw a little inside of the end of that series, him bringing the ball in and giving it to the coach, and he was like fully owned the floor with basically everyone, and they all look up to him as the leader. Like I said, David Booker, definitely his game is suited to playoffs. Just a pure scorer in every facet of the game. Great shot. Aiden we talked about as well, clearly improved. Mikal Bridges, good 3-and-D guy they've got. And Jay Crowder, I think he's not a LeBron stopper. He's one of these guys that just comes through and gets killed by LeBron over and over again. When they do get a win, they go crazy.
Yeah, and it was weird because I think it was those 6 threes he hit. I think the majority was in the first half.
Yep.
He's really streaky, so he can go on runs just to hit threes. I mean, the Phoenix team isn't deep. You look at their supporting cast. Kaminsky, so sometimes he can be good.
Frank the Tank.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Frank the Tank Kaminsky. He didn't play much.
Yeah.
I don't think they did play a lot of small ball, right? I think that's the other thing. Whereas Lakers got some of those big dudes like Marc Gasol, Andre Drummond, they can't play when they're going extra small and fast. So that's what happens. Whereas last year, I think the Lakers could keep up with putting JaVale McGee and so forth in there. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy for the Suns. It's kind of cool to see these teams that have been struggling for so long.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
11 years out of the playoffs. So well done to them. Moving on to the other LA game, I was pretty surprised that Dallas, to be honest, couldn't close out Game 6 at home. I think they've thrown a huge opportunity now, and Kawhi almost woke up in that Game 6. He went again, popped off in that Game 6, and I think Terminator robot activated there, Cyborg activated. So I think they're going to find it really hard to win now, Dallas, going back to LA for Game 7. They'll probably be a little bit deflated as well. And they were playing really good pick and roll defense against Doncic as well. Then he'll need to come up with some answers around that. But yeah, I think the Clippers are going to advance after that performance in Dallas.
Yeah, who knows? You're hoping it'll be a good game for Game 7. I knew it was probably going to go to 6 or 7, and then when I saw them, trying to lock down Luka and the supporting cast, they were just missing shots. They were so bad. They were just waiting for Luka to do something, but they got to help him out.
Yep. Yeah, I think they'll need to go out and get some kind of a second option for him next year. They'll have to pull out some trades, and they're getting what they're getting is maximum effort from guys like Finney-Smith, Hardaway Jr.
Hardaway Jr., mate. He's from where he was at the Knicks to now.
Yeah. There's no doubt. Yeah, he's doing his bit. Jalen Brunson, I think the pieces are okay, but they're clearly missing a big time number 2, and that should be Porzingis, and he's not quite delivering, unfortunately. He's probably.
I know, what's happened to the unicorn? He's
just gone quiet. A lot of injuries too, right? At that height, he's had knee injuries and so forth, so it's not quite the same player. Yeah, I mean, it would have been cool to see Dallas advance as well. I think Doncic is just made for, again, playoffs. He's got all the offensive assets. Really, he's got the three ball, he's got the post game, he's got the slashing game, he's got, yeah, he's got all the tools.
Yeah. I find sometimes these centers, they tend to, fall into the just stick at the three and try to be a stretch, stretch four or stretch
They were
five.
doing that with Porzingis. He was standing out on the perimeter, man. Did you see that? That's crazy stuff.
Yeah. And I think that's because they've got Marjanovic there, right? And he's camped in the paint.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, interesting.
I don't know why they play those two together. They should play separately, I think.
Yeah. No, the
they're playing
it's more
together
the
as
fact
much.
that Clippers have such a small team, right? Serge Ibaka's injured, actually. He's in street clothes as well. I was wondering what happened to him. He's injured, and Clippers play a very, very small team. Like Zubac played 5 minutes, for example. So they're trying to get them with size, and I think it is a good ploy. But then
the Mavs are huge.
Mavs play big. But yeah, like I said, I think that pick and roll game they were playing on the offensive side for Mavs didn't quite work out. So they need some answers. Yeah, I mean, Hardaway Jr. 23 points yesterday. Doncic 29. It's almost like Doncic's got to get 40 plus for them to win games, and that's generally how it's been, right? The three that they've won. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the crazy matchup that's coming up, Bucks versus Nets?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Who's going to card KD? I reckon they're just going to let him.
Yeah, Giannis would probably guard KD, right? You'd think. I mean, this is a defensive player of the year award winner. So, and potentially, I think it hasn't been announced yet. I think potentially this year. So, Giannis, it's pretty much the Bucks defense versus the crazy offense that the Nets have essentially. Drew Holiday, what can he do to slow down Harden as well? So it's going to be defense versus offense. I thought honestly Brooklyn by a long, long way, but I think Bucks might have some chance here actually, especially if they really dial up the defense and lock up those guys. I mean, we know you can't lock those guys up, but
it
make
depends.
it really uncomfortable.
For me, it all depends on the supporting cast. Like if they just fully rely on Giannis to do something, they got no chance. There's just so many weapons on the Nets. It's like, seriously. Like, don't worry about the other guys. Like, the Beard, he's happy to just facilitate now. He's happy to get 20 fucking assists a game.
I know. Crazy, right? The fact that he's assumed the point guard role from Kyrie, and Kyrie likes it. He's now like a shooting guard. So off ball shooting guard, which is pretty cool. The other matchups we've got to think about is Kyrie and Chris Middleton, their role as essentially like a third option, you could say, right, on offense. And really, Chris Middleton year on year hasn't lived up to that number 2 guy for a while, which is why they've now gone and got Drew Holiday.
You could say he hasn't gone
he would have an opportunity
that way since he got paid.
Yeah, man, he got paid max, right? I think he's got max money. Is he a max guy? Is the question. So, yeah. So that's quite that's going to be pretty interesting to see what those third options do. The big guys as well, Brook Lopez. You'd think he'd get some solid minutes, and and will DeAndre Jordan get a lot of minutes out of that, or Blake Griffin, obviously, as well. So looking forward to seeing Blake Griffin, man. Didn't dunk for 2 years. The man's just come out and
I know.
doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So
did you see that one where it looked like he was on drugs?
No, what happened there?
It was a couple of games ago, and he just went up and dunked it, and he looked like so out of it. It looked like he was on something.
Really?
Yeah.
He's definitely come alive. Good old Blake. He must have just been just chilling in Detroit, right? I don't know if there's much to do in Detroit, to be honest. I haven't heard good things about the city.
Yeah.
No offense to our listeners in Detroit. We're going with our friends' observations and 8 Mile, the movie by Eminem. That's all I've got to go on. Yeah, no, it's good. That's honestly this series could be the finals in some ways. Like that's the level of talent and matchups we're going to have. So I'm really looking forward to this series. I'll be catching a lot of the games here. What do you think of the whole New York and Atlanta series? Got pretty spicy. Was good fun.
Got spicy, but again, New York didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah.
Just got outplayed by ATL.
That's right. And Trae stepped it up, right? At the end of the day, he's just a pure scorer. Man, one thing about Trae is I was doing a bit of Instagram stalking of Trae. That guy loves football, man. Like, he was putting up these IG stories of him working out with his personal coaches. And I know most of these guys have personal coaches, but he showed this vision of his personal coach teaching him these specific moves in the off season and him hitting those moves in the playoffs. And it's just so cool. They really put in that. They put in the work and it pays rewards this game. So, he absolutely loves the game. It's great to see. There's just less of these dudes that come into the league that get paid and dog it, right? Like back in the day, there's just people that love the game and quite successful, try and do their best of their abilities. Love Trae's game. I think, Clint Capella plays an important role as their center. Jason Collins as their, tall forward that shoots threes.
Yep. That was a good pickup for them.
Yeah.
Picking up Capella. Yeah,
no doubt. He gives them veteran presence there as well. And, Julius Randle, he became an all-star, definitely over-delivered. I think New York, we can clearly
during the season, he didn't deliver shit in the postseason.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. Just went backwards in the postseason, and Derrick Rose had to take over, right? Like he was looking at Julius Randle, like, dude, what are you doing, kind of thing. But
yeah, what do you reckon? Did RJ Barrett, get blinded by the lights?
Yeah,
he sort of went quiet.
RJ's the same. I think RJ's the same. There's a few of them that got blinded by the lights.
Your buddy, Mr. Toppin, too?
Yeah, Mr. Toppin, the dunker. It's a young team. They've got a lot of cap space, right? So the main thing is, are they going to fill that cap space really quickly, or they're just going to go again, maybe add like a piece like a Dennis Schroeder at point guard and see how far that gets them? And are they happy to just, play playoffs again? Really, it's been such a long time, rather than just mixing up the chemistry too much. But yeah, man, Philly and Atlanta, who you got for that?
Well, it depends, right? If Mr. Glass comes back, Philly. If he doesn't, then ATL is going to win.
Well, Embiid's got a meniscus tear.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm going to call him bloody
Mr. Glass, fragile.
Mr. Glass / who's the guy from Portland?
LaMarcus Aldridge.
No. The guy was always injured. That was the number 1 pick. Greg
Oden. Oh, yes, Greg Oden. Yeah, man. Some of these big dudes, right? Like, they, they look like they could get injured. You know what I mean? They're just so big
Yeah.
and gangly looking dudes. They're probably not even made to friggin' play a sport like this for 82 games a season. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I think Philly's got way too much. But if he's out, I think it'll be close. There's no doubt. Ben's been playing quite well as well. He's scoring more, right? He's been getting to that 20 points mark, which is nice for the defense he plays. It's quite, yeah, a tight defense. He's the playmaker. With him getting 20 points, I think that's quite solid from them. And Tobias Harris has been playing really well. And as we know,
I
Seth
think
Curry,
he's stepped up, the Tobias Harris. So, yeah, he's doing what he was paid to do finally. But he's got to stop acting scared, mate. Just, there's been times when he's just charged in and people know that and they're just going to stand there in front of him in a guarding position. They're going to get the offensive foul. And, they talk about it all the time is if he just pulls up, he's bloody 6'10", right? And if he pulls up, takes a jumper, who's going to block it? No one.
Yeah. No, you're right. He's their point guard. He sometimes assumes but he doesn't use his body. He plays like a point guard, but doesn't use his body as like a 6'10" guy. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see Ben to elevate his game, man, because the spotlight's going to be on these guys. Philly, they've got a great opportunity to go straight to, conference finals, and geez, anything from there, right? And this year, there's just so many opportunities, first time winners as well, or teams that haven't won it in like 20 years. Like Philly, they haven't won one since the 70s. They went to the finals, obviously. Haven't won one in the 70s. There's so many teams that haven't won it yet, like Phoenix, Utah, Clippers, Brooklyn as well. So huge opportunities for so many teams at the moment. So yeah, looking forward to who comes through. A lot of basketball to watch. But
probably the last game, it would have been all Curry. Like if he did not score 30, I don't think they would have won.
Seth Curry?
Yeah.
And Danny Green as well, man. It really surprising that Lakers got rid of him and kept KCP over him. That was a ridiculous decision, I think. But anyway, KCP is a clutch sports guy, right?
Even Dwight's playing his role. Yeah, sometimes he's getting a double-double.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Exactly. No, I think Philly should come through from that game. But again, I'm really happy for Atlanta. It's a bit like the Phoenix. Those teams, like all these teams that are in there, they had that super draft, right? You could call it now, looking back. Had DeAndre Ayton, number 1 pick, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Number 3, I'm pretty sure, was Doncic. Number 4 was Trae Young, and I think Donovan Mitchell might have been the same draft potentially as well, or maybe the year before. But yeah, all these guys are now in the playoffs quite deep, so that draft has definitely come through. Hey, what do you think about Dame Dollar, man? We've got to give him a shout out. I mean, that guy, one of the realest dudes out there, right? And just went crazy with that 55-point game. He's just draining threes from all over the floor. It's just a real shame that he doesn't have a solid team to go further to showcase his skills at the highest stage. They haven't set him up with the pieces that he deserves, right? CJ, I mean, he's probably number 3, number 4 option, really. And you just can't rely on CJ McCollum to be a number 2 option for a championship winning team.
Oh, he used to be. I don't know what's wrong. Like,
he was injured this year.
What's that? Yeah,
he was injured
a little
this
bit.
year. But I mean, look, CJ, yeah, he's a nice player, man. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a nice player. But if you're a legitimate basketball team, you don't rely on CJ McCollum and Melo coming off the bench, and Nurkic to solve problems and go out and win a ring. You know what I mean? Like that's telling. If I was Dame, that's telling me that okay, you have so much loyalty to this team, you don't want to leave, and therefore you're happy with this team that we've constructed. You know, we don't have to bust our asses, go out and get that second piece because we know Dame's so loyal. But I think that might change because they've just the coach just left as well. Dame wants Jason Kidd, but you never know, man. Dame might just wake up and say, "That's it. I want to move on now."
Yeah, well, the coach he didn't change. He kept having the same bloody game plan.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, exactly. Right. For like 4 years, I'd say it's like the same game plan.
Yeah.
But, we shall see. But yeah, man, crazy basketball.
Like I think they definitely need either number 2 or number 3 that can help out. That someone a little bit bigger, bit better on defense. Probably rim protection a little bit, just to stop these little guys driving in at them because Dame and CJ, they're perimeter defense. I think Dame's okay, but not CJ.
Yep. And Jokic potentially will get crowned as the MVP pretty soon as well. He advances, playing against Phoenix as well. So another youngish team going at it with an opportunity to go to conference finals. Man, it's crazy. It's like, for me, it's generational change. You know, it's the first time we won't have a finals with either LeBron or Steph in there since 2010. That's 10 years. So
still got KD though.
Still got KD. He's the guy. He's like the glue in between. I suppose that might be coming through. So yeah. I mean, it's cool to see. It's cool to see. I was a bit sad by it. as weird as that sounds, man. I was like, damn, that means we're getting old as well. Like this is a turnover of the league that's happening. But
yeah, it's just a handing over of the guard.
Right. But it's now time to embrace the next crew.
Yeah. Do you think New York needs a new coach as well?
Well, Tom Thibodeau, I think, just brings that defensive mindset, right? I reckon it would be great to get a team
he needs an assistant with an offensive mindset because their offense is terrible. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's true. This whole grinding out wins like the good old Chicago days from 15 years ago or 10 years ago when Derrick Rose was around, it's not going to win championships.
Well, I was watching, like, you look at the Clippers, right, yesterday, and they changed the way they defended and ran their offense, right? So they would go out, get the pick, and just be, it'll be like 3-4 little passes, and it'd be bang to an open man. And people were moving their feet, moving without the ball. It was like a, work of art for once. Instead of letting Kawhi and, PG do their thing.
Yeah. No, I think you make a pretty good point. It's probably the reason why teams like Thibodeau's teams overachieve during the regular season because they're very structured, play great defense. But yeah, playoffs is all about maximizing your talent and releasing your offensive capabilities as well, right? And yeah, maybe he doesn't have the imagination for solid offense. So, but I think they'll stick with him. That was his first season, I'm pretty sure. Thibodeau's first season in Knicks, and you wouldn't want to rock the boat as Knicks, right? They've been struggling for such a long time.
Yeah,
I would imagine they'd be happy to go again and just make playoffs potentially, right? Keep their fan base happy.
Well, their fans were happy just winning one playoff.
I know, right? What a crazy fan base, man. They definitely they love it. Yeah, they love it. But Trae gave them that good night New York signature sign off, I should say. And he goes, when the show's over, he goes, there's plenty of shows in this town, and I know what they do when the show's over. You bow down and appreciate the audience and move on. It's kind of cool. But yeah,
there's LeBron. Is his contract still? Is it up next year or?
Well, they've got 2 more years, man. AD and LeBron are still locked up for 2 more years, and you never know. LeBron's entering year 19, I think. So,
yeah.
Jeez, you never know, man. He might fall off the cliff. But you got to say that high ankle sprain, it's a big time injury, and for basketball players, it's probably even bigger. So, I think he'd want to be healing that ankle. But and the other thing, guess which teams got knocked out in the first round? The 2 teams that went to the finals last year, and we had the shortest off season in history as well, right? Like, we had 1 month off or something like that.
Yep.
That's probably let's not underestimate that stuff, right? And those guys clearly got injured. LeBron got injured. AD got injured. Jimmy Butler got injured. Right. I can't remember who else got injured from Miami, but I know there were some missing players for periods of time as well. So it's been a weird season. I think, I think LeBron, AD, they'll go away and get healthy, rest up, probably come back for another run, you think? Because the West, I think, I was going to say West is there for the taking, but those young teams will get better, and Clay's going to be back. And Warriors might want to make another move to try and
they only just lost, right? Because in the play-in. What do you think of the play-in, actually?
Oh, I think
you a fan of it?
Yeah, I mean it's fun. It's fun for fans, right? I think it's great fun for fans, and it keeps those end games towards the end of the regular season interesting. While teams are still, number 9 and 10 are jockeying for spots and so forth. I'm not sure if you're an NBA team owner or a GM or a player that you make 7th, that you got to play in again. You're 7th.
Yeah. Well, you think about Lakers and Spurs, right?
Yeah.
Lakers had 42 games. Spurs had 33. Do the Spurs actually deserve to play in?
Well, yeah, exactly. And some of these teams are just so far off, right? These number 10 seeds are just completely off the pace as well. So it's, I don't know. I think it's kind of fun for fans, casual fans, but the integrity of it all, that's the question mark I have. So it's a balance. You never know. I think it's here to stay, though. I don't think they're going to get rid of it.
It does look like it's here to stay.
Yeah, and one of the highlights has been the whole LeBron-Steph playing game, right? That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm really interested in what Golden State do, because they've got some cards up their sleeve, right? They've got Kelly Oubre Jr., Wiggins, Wiseman, the number 2 pick from last year. They can package that stuff up and get another high-end piece, like I was going to say Bradley Beal, but not really. I mean, they don't really need a Bradley Beal. They probably need some kind of a tall wing type. I don't know who that player could be. But I'm thinking someone like a Paul George type, like a tall wing that can slash and make some plays. That's probably what they're missing, and that's probably what they want from Kelly Oubre or Wiggins, which they probably won't get at that level. So they'll be coming back.
Do you reckon NBA players are going to boycott the Olympics, mate?
Well, I don't think there's going to be
some college plays.
There won't be a lot of attraction, man. I don't think there'll be a lot of partying in Tokyo. That's for sure. So, LeBron's not going to go, and because of the crazy long season, I highly doubt if anyone's going to be enthused to go and play Olympics for a month. It could be young players, could be a mix of young and college. I would say. It's not far to go, is it? Tokyo, August.
No, it's not far.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, man. Look, lots to talk about. It's been great fun watching pretty much the end of the first round now, with the killer second round coming up. Well, let's get some predictions before we go. Who you got from Brooklyn and Bucks?
Oh, I'm going to go with Brooklyn. There's just too much firepower, and the Bucks, even though you say their defense is good, they haven't really been tested this year.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I want to see Bucks come through, but yeah, I think Brooklyn will be too much for them. And on the other game, yeah, Philly, definitely Embiid plays, but I think Atlanta will take a couple of games from them and might go like 6 games or something like that.
Yeah, I reckon it will go down to 6.
Yep.
Atlanta will take a couple.
And Phoenix.
Same as, Phoenix. Oh,
Phoenix and Denver.
I reckon Denver, because CP3's injured. It really relies on him running the ball to free up Devin Booker to just be free and score.
Very different types of matchups in some ways. Yeah, Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., Austin Rivers, man. Shout out to him. He's literally just come off being cut by New York to playing the Jamal Murray role. So he's playing really well. Yeah, even though CP3 was trolling the Lakers at the end, I'd like to see him try to get to that conference final that he's never been to. So that'd be kind of cool to see. So I'll probably go with Phoenix at this stage. To beat Denver, and we don't know who's coming out yet between Clippers and Dallas yet to play Utah. So yeah, man. After all this, right, it could be Clippers coming through in the West. You never know if they're going to win one more game. Let's see.
Utah's all nice and fresh as well, so whoever's going to play them, watch out.
That's it. All right, man. Good chatting.
Yeah.
And look, I think in terms of tool of the week, for me, I'm going to go with Jay Crowder, man. That Instagram trolling and hitting the salsa at the end, I liked it as well, man. Elite level trolled LeBron's tweet, retweeted LeBron's tweet from May the 7th saying all the fun's over when the rabbit gets the gun, and pretty much trolled him pretty hard. So yeah, that's my tool.
I love it.
It's probably your tool as well. Cool.
Yeah, it is my tool.
Good chatting. Enjoy the Bucks Brooklyn game, which has just started. Yeah,
just starting, and no more pre-game BS. So now we can watch some guns go at it.
That's it, man.
So tell your friends, like, subscribe, leave comments. Let us know what you'd like to hear more of.
No doubt. Thanks for tuning in, and let your friends know.
Yep.
Peace out.
Peace.